If that water wet, it's got gators in it.
Oh, yeah? Well, me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
They shouldn't have given you ashy blokes YouTube.
Cursed be the ground for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
Hey, what's going on, good people? And oh yes, okay, it's one of those shows. Okay, normally I would go. You know, in the old days I'd get in. It'd be like an hour rant because I am that pissed off. Let's put it that way, okay? And not at an individual, but the whole process that we're going through right now with this shit, right? Okay. Um, and no matter what you do, no matter who goes on, no matter how many red pills or black pill lessons we learn, always come back to what? The same shit, right? Always comes back to the same goddamn thing, right?
I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
It's always fucking Jermaine's fault, man. You know what? And I respect because the opening videos probably be Jeff, and I respect Jeff. I know what he's trying to do. I have a whole lot of pro-black friends. I know what they're trying to do, but I'm getting tired of this bullshit about always putting the onus on black men. Okay, in this fucking country where you've never had any fucking power. Never had any fucking power, but they all of a sudden they're gonna put all this shit on your shoulders, like you're supposed to change this shit. You're supposed to change the whole planet of 8 billion people and correct all this shit with what? With 17 million black men. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, before I really go off, let me go ahead and get started. Okay, welcome some people, and we will dive into it because there's some things I want to say before I really, set my teeth and start chomping on people, because I really, man, I wanted to go out, man, and strap on that vest, man, and holler Akbar, right? Okay, and go on a YouTube jihad, okay, because I am really, really, really irked. Okay, I'm really irked, and I was trying to tell people, because I got to do a seminar on culture on Friday on Ram's platform. Okay. I'm really irked because I've been trying to teach this stuff for the last 10 years, and no matter what you teach, okay, the shit doesn't penetrate. Even people that are in this space that have heard me and seen me prove shit over the past fucking 10 years, chapter, verse, evidence, documentation, results, outcomes, all that shit, and still it's not enough because they don't want to change, okay? Nobody wants to fucking change. And I'm, at this point, man, I'm getting, after 11 years, I'm getting royally sick of this shit, okay? But anyway, and then this is not to going on Jeff because it's a disagreement, but it's not just him, okay? He has a worldview, and it's not just him. Media Man does the same shit. It's not just him, okay? So it's not Jeff alone. I got no beef with Jeff. I think Jeff is doing some good work, okay? Even though my little brother Kevin, okay, shout out to what we call Saint Kevin, the Godfather, okay? Even though I loved him to death, and I agree with 99.99% of what he said, okay? Certified, okay? There's some shit that I vehemently disagree with him on some things, okay? Not all, but a fraction, okay? And this shit, this fucking blackmail chest thumping, okay, gets on my fucking nerves. It really does, okay? Especially when it's misplaced, okay? Before I go off, man, let me welcome some people. Let me go through the video because otherwise it'll be a fucking hour and a half rant. I don't want to do that. I want to burn down, how you sometimes I remember in The Dark Knight, right, to find the jewel thief, they had to burn down the whole fucking forest. I don't want to burn down the forest, okay? I don't want to burn down the forest over one comment. Let me get started. Adric, number 1. Fernando's batting 2nd. Shannon Moore batting 3rd. Luther batting cleanup. Okay. Nah, you didn't make cleanup this time, maybe. Nice try. Instant media beaming in. He's got the next at bat for the 2nd inning. Okay. Shannon Green, what's up? Jesse, what's happening? Jesse, Kevin, what's happening? The Black Toxic. Okay. Dusty Jermaine is always there for man. Dusty J's, they only killed Jesus once. Okay, they killed Jesus once, man. They kill us daily. Well, when in the New Testament it said you got to die on your cross daily. Okay, black men die on the freaking cross minute by fucking minute. Okay, punching the clock. What's up, Eddie? Michael? Yeah, I saw that, man. Basically. But the thing is, I don't mind when black women, especially when they're honest, okay? When they're honest about how they feel. because I hear the same shit in real life. Okay. Because because he sent me a song, I can't play it because of copyright. I might do a separate thing, and say fuck the copyright. You just dissect the song because everything she says is what's been passed down over the past 200 years. Okay, Mama never gets the blame. Mama's God. Mama's the queen, and your no good black daddy is the reason that your life is all fucked up. Okay, yes, it's gonna be. We're gonna swear on this video because uh, just a multitude of things over the past week, man. Because I'm looking at all this shit of how the world is actually working that we have no fucking control over, and that yet they want to still blame black men for shit we ain't got no control over. Anyway, because Jesse Lee says it's because Jermaine is a leader by default. I wish that was the case. Okay, Jermaine is not the leader by default. The leader by default is that black woman because everybody goes to her and goes through her. Okay. Jermaine is the designated fall guy when shit goes wrong. J Dog, what's up? The only leaders take the blame. The problem is Jermaine has no authority. He's not a leader. Not a leader. It's J Dog says Keisha free, not our problem. Not Romaine. What's up? What's up, Latoya? John Smith, what's going on? Quentin, what's going on? Paraphrase Richard Pryor, because we home. Okay, that's true. Okay. Trail, what's happening? Hurricane Greg, Carl, what's happening? Ron Brown, what's going on? Wagner, Turtle Bitcoin, yeah. You man, Traore is growing, man. I wonder what's going to happen in Uganda now that we have this big ass Gen Z movement. Museveni in Uganda's died, so I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder how the power is going to shift. Lavras going on, okay. Yeah, Russian base in Togo. They got to protect the infrastructure, right? Keep white folks coming back in. Palm Beach Mike, what's happening? Naima, what's going on? Ken Seen Red, Victor Creed, Prince, Enigma, Inspired Truth, NPRG, DJ Scan, Kelvin, what's going on? Babu, Busy Mike, what's happening? Pharaoh, okay. Gynocracy Central. Wonder what video compilations you got cooking up today. And man, I could probably do a lot of my old stuff, man. I don't even have to use other people's stuff. I got enough stuff. I could probably use my own if I really wanted to. But I think you guys get more out of it if I let other people show you what I'm talking about. Tempest Blade, what's going on? Beto, Chaz, what's going on? Yep, fuck them all. Babu, what's going on? Swift Battle, what's happening? Barry, what's going on? Landon, what's happening? Power Productions, what's going on? Enigma, what's going on? Dat Nagus, what's going on? A ringtone. Okay, I'll put it up, man. I'll put it up. I'll put it up as a short. It was funny as hell. I told AB when he showed it to me, I said, man, I got to have that for my opening because I'm going to use that. Clark Goodlow, what's going on? Horowitz, what's happening? Luther, what's going on? I'll put the clip up as a short, and you guys can download it yourself. Cyrus Burke says by this time next year, be just gonna have like 20 clips to fire up the intro. I got a lot of clips, man. I have to add. I got a ton of clips. Mr. J Matt, what's going on? Little Maple Leaf, what's happening? Charles says rant. No, you know what? I want to do this the right way. Okay, I want to do this the right way before I go completely left. Okay, yeah, because the more I think about it, I want to go completely left, and I got to maintain. Okay, this is not the channel for it. The other channel is, so I have to maintain. MS Delta, Master Teacher, have a nice steak dinner and leave those hyenas and simps to the bears. Because what Jeff said about, I'm gonna play it about the simps, right? We just did that shit with the dating stuff. Okay, we just did that shit. We just did that shit about black men not having fucking standards, and we are all over the fucking place. We could not agree on what a 5 was. Okay, we could not even agree on what a 4 was. I'm not a ghostwriter. Appreciate you. What's going on, Country Boy? What's up? Chance, what's going on? LAXT, what's going on? Landon, appreciate you. Crazy thing is, black men think they can improve your way out. You know, that alpha your way through it. Okay. Chuck Clark says, rant on. He said, blame Theo. Okay. But Theo's your main number one. Okay. And you know, Theo, I was just thinking about you. Okay. I mean, the first time we spoke, man, and you came up, I forget on what streamer was actually on, right? And I thought you was gonna get ready to dig into my ass because me and the Obsidian don't always get along, right? I thought you were gonna come up and dig in my ass, man, and I was so shocked about the words of gratitude that you gave me, man. I almost brought a tear to my eye because I completely thought that you actually going to light a fire to me, man, and you didn't, man. You were humble and you appreciated me, man, even though I didn't know who the hell you were, man. I know her Obsidian mentioned you, man, and the love that you gave me that day, man, it touched me. So I never forgot that. People think I forget. I have never forgot that, Theo. If you had never done anything else, man, the way you came up on that panel and greeted me and showed me appreciation, man, I can never thank you enough. I was just thinking about that. I said, witchcraft is still working. It's more than witchcraft, man. That is, the more you improve, the more they do hate you. There's a reason for that. Bo Johnson, what's going on? Encrypted Wolf, what's going on? Babu, what's going on? Jay Mar, what's happening? Odinga, what's going on? As this is my first time hearing BGS curse. I normally don't do it on a panel. Okay. Man, trust and believe, man. You go to the other channel when I'm cursing somebody out, man, you don't want to hear it. Okay. I try to keep it level. I try not to introduce it. I try to code switch. Okay. And not introduce it into the panel. Because really, when I was younger, if I got mad, when I was mad because I didn't curse. Okay. I didn't cuss when I got mad. I very seldom cuss when I get mad. When I get really angry, I very seldom cuss. The only time I cuss is when I'm actually code switching to what I call my fellow ghetto members. Okay, and the words I'm using they will not understand, so I have to use certain vernacular that they can understand. When I cuss so that you can understand me. Okay, that you can feel me. Because some black people don't feel you unless you use certain words. Okay. I said, blame your students. Jay Cleveland, what's going on? Landon, Bar, okay. Salute. This is the BGS I like to see from time to time. I try to tone. That's the evil. That's what we gave him the evil twin a name. We call him VHS. Okay, instead of BGS, call him VHS. Okay. Shout out to Charles. Okay. So VHS comes out from time to time. Okay. Absolute pandemonium. What's up, Beach? Just one day I would love to hear what you and Kevin disagree. Oh, it's about having to have money and status to get married. Okay, I vehemently disagreed with that. I still do. Because they try to, you know, they try to drum that into her head that you got to qualify for marriage, you have to be something, right? Nobody, no other man on the planet has to do that except us. Okay. Lord Bison, what's going on? Red Pills, what's up, Louis? Trail, get it from there. They do get it from their mama. I said, Master Teacher, my old Chinese mentor boss used to say sometimes you have to remind uh remind us and show people that you do have to have a big sharp sword. Because I just talked to my sister, right? And you know, we because of me, because you know, I was a bright kid, they bust me out of the ghetto, right? So uh, my siblings got the same kind of permit because they're actually attached to me. So we got bust out of the ghetto as far as our schooling is concerned, right? Okay. So sometimes, so we don't use the same words. Okay. So sometimes people think that we wasn't raised in the ghetto, right? Okay. And I remind people, okay, uh, Freeway Ricky Ross grew up like 6 blocks from where I grew up. Same freaking neighborhood. Okay. I would have went to the same school with him at the same time if I had stayed in that neighborhood. Okay. He grew up 6 blocks from where I grew up. That's the neighborhood we grew up in. So don't play me about me being arrogant or elite or bougie. Okay, I ain't none of that. Okay, that's like I don't look down on people that are ghetto because I'm one of them. I don't like to bring it out is because you know if anybody from the ghetto, I mean from the real ghetto, okay, from the real ghetto, or you know when to shut the fuck up, okay. From my hood, you know when to shut the fuck up because if you keep running your mouth, you ain't gonna live long. So all that throwing the hands and throwing words and shit like that, you keep doing that shit long enough, okay, they're gonna find you sitting in the car with holes in you, okay? That's the way it worked from my hood. So all that shit talking here on YouTube, like they hiding it from the ghetto, you ain't from the fucking ghetto because you wouldn't be talking like that. People from the ghetto don't talk reckless like that because they know there's consequences. Only going to you when they're it's their fake profiles again. Deacon says we are the fall guy. I mean, we are. Enigma, say Odinga. Dr. Ills. Dr. Ills, and I know what he's trying to do because these guys are in the psychology portion, okay? And I'm, you know, and I know, you know, because they got on me about this the CBT training, right? Okay, you think you can actually train behavior like that? You can temporarily. Okay, but the deep psychology, you have to get into the culture, okay? Why shit happens, okay? And trust and believe, it was that simple. They'd be doing this shit on a global basis. They can't do that shit on a global basis. They don't know. You got trillions of dollars invested in how people think and what make people move. You think that black people that they're working on a shoestring budget can change what's happening, can change the whole fucking culture? All right, okay. Said I got $5, but you gotta come up with the other 1995 if you want to get Reverend Winans 2000. Man, so come on out in the church. Black Power and Money checking in. Appreciate you, Lord Bison. Appreciate you. Let me get in this because I'll be welcoming people all day. Shannon Green, what's happening? Martin Muhammad says salute and say be just more. Thank you for telecasting the conversation between Dr. Neal and Dr. Dunbar. Good chemistry. Thank you, Dr. Dunbar, for letting Dr. Neal expound, cook, and take his time. Yeah, I think so. That's like I shared it because I really wanted people to actually hear it because when I checked in, it was only like there was like 10 people watching. I said it's not enough. That's like I shared it. It's not it wasn't to promote my channel or promote me, man. I just thought I can bring in more eyeballs than he can, so let me put it up so you guys can get the blessing of the our two PhDs. Okay, Big Trick, what's going on? Jermaine doesn't think he's Jermaine. We can call it Jermaineism. Panda Man, what's up? We're blamed for not staying in our place. Dr. L's podcast, Losing Brain Cells and Gaining Gray Hairs Waste. The thing is, he has a mission, so I can't tell him what his mission is, okay? No fear, you're here. What's going on? Absolute pandemonium. What's this rant? Let's see. Anybody else? Quanta, I'm trying to get to everybody, but let's see. I think so. Brooklyn's Finest. Sincere, Pandantic Foot, Kenneth Young, what's going on? Shadow 19, Little Maple Leaf, what's going on? Housing 85. Housing says 95 catching up with him. Hey, they don't call it the plantation for nothing. Very Little says that black men did not exist. People who whine incessantly about us and despise us have to invent us. That's true. There's always a bottom class, okay? There's always a bottom class. Muggles, okay? I think that's it. I think I got Ezra. What's going on? Anyhow, let me go ahead and get started, okay? What triggered this, okay? Because I was planning on doing something else. What triggered this is 2 videos, and one video especially, and then since I was going back over my notes and some of my slides for because I got to do a culture presentation in a couple days, so I was actually collecting all my slides and stuff like that. So some stuff I actually want to go over. Okay, well, we're gonna start with this. This is a brother podcast. I think it's a brother podcast. Ask a Brother podcast. I think that's the name of it. So we're gonna start with Jeff because it's not his tone. It's not that he said anything reckless, and it's not completely his fault. Okay, but the thing is, I'm tired of hearing that freaking narrative. I really am. I really am. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna start with. And it's the same shit we've been talking about forever. Okay, forever. They've been talking about fucking leadership of the black males since the 1950s. Man, it's not new. And they always blame it on you that like you're not enough, okay? And nobody ever does shit about it. So this is Jeff St. James, and this is Ask. I think is it Ask a Brother? Yeah, Ask Your Brother podcast. Okay. Now understand. Well, this is the difference I can say between James, him and Kevin. Okay. Kevin took no prisoners. Okay. Jeff is more, I guess, because of his profession, he's more accommodating. Okay. He doesn't give as much pushback. Okay. So sometimes he doesn't hold the standard and hold a certain standard. Let's put it this way. Okay. Hold a certain standard. And sometimes, but I see this in pro-black and especially in younger pro-blacks that are where they like it on feminist taught, okay? Because a lot of shit creeps in. Anytime I hear somebody use partner, okay, I know that you're feminist taught. I don't give a shit what you say. If you use partner or your person or that shit that LGBTQ language that was invented for them, okay, that feminists adopted, then I know how you train. Now whether you break that training or not, I don't know, okay? But I've been living long enough, I've seen the transition, and I know. So it's not completely exhausted because I hear older black women and black people talk the exact same stuff. This shit has not changed. Like my And I love her to death, okay? I love her to death, and she holds black women accountable, okay? But she believes the same thing, okay? And she'll turn 80. Is it 80? Yeah, she'll turn 80 next month. So she's silent generation, okay? She's silent generation. No, she'd be boom. Yeah, I think she's silent generation, and she believes the same stuff, okay? Said it's clear that black women are rocked. That we brothers are finally fighting back against their lying ass half-century long propaganda against us. I wish it was just the women. Okay, the thing is, and we'll get to that. Let me get to that. Let me go ahead and get the presentation. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Okay.
If he didn't come in leading, it's kind of like, how am I just going to automatically start listening to you? It's very.
See, in other words, the same, man, we have heard this shit publicly for the past 60 freaking years, okay? I played a clip from 1970, okay, about black men wanting to take the leadership role, and black women said, you're going to have to forcefully, you're going to have to take leadership from my cold, dead hand, okay? I played shit from the 60s and 70s saying the exact same stuff. The shit has not changed. They saying the same fucking thing 60 years later. Shit ain't changed, okay? Said pimps, max, and players respected Kevin. Yeah. But anyway.
Very hard.
And it's not her to tick me off. I expected her to say what she said, but there's some shit that really set my teeth on edge. And this is just a rebuke. You know, Jeff, I love you. Okay. This is not because I dislike you. It's not that I'm not going to stop following you, but I have a huge disagreement with this. Okay. So this is not an attack. This is actually a opinion. I'm gonna say it's my opinion. Okay. Now my opinion is backed up by a whole bunch of shit, but it's still my fucking opinion. Okay. This is shit I don't like. This is why I don't really do this stuff in pro-black circles. This is why I separate my identity from my pro-black folks, okay? Because I know what kind of stuff that will actually cause if I actually do that. And it's like I don't like them coming over here and messing with me. It's because they're gonna make me say stuff I don't want to say, and make me start pointing out shit I don't want to do back, because May the Alchemist try to pull that pro-black shit on me, okay? But yes, you're not pro-black because you negative. Motherfuckers, Dr. Anderson could be negative, okay? John Henry Clark could be negative, okay? A lot of your pro-black people could be, Malcolm X could be negative, okay? But the thing is keeping that shit. Martin Luther King could be negative, but keeping that shit real, okay? Being accurate. I am not a motivational speaker. I didn't come in this, I'm a Gnostic. I didn't come in this beast to be a motivational speaker. Oh, black man, you can do anything you want. Just beat your chest and pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Although we have to go find the boots first. I don't do that shit. That's not me. We just gets the belt.
Hello. Is this let's see.
I'll try to speed it up just a tad, if that's okay.
Modest Truth. So is it Sarai or
Sarah?
Sarah? Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the channel. And how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me on here. I'm very excited. Okay. I wrote a couple of notes, so I make sure I didn't miss anything. Now, the topic, why couples don't hear each other, I think that's a little vague, because it's like, for many reasons, like, has the couple been together longer than they should have been together? You know, have they been on and off? Like, it's all specific reasons. Mm-hmm. So I think the title is a little vague then. Are they married? Are they not married? But just leaning on what the topic is at hand. Sorry. Mm-hmm. For me, I wrote down, woman-wise, it's the lack of respect for the man that she's with. Especially.
Why is she, okay, number one, why the fuck are you with a man that you can't respect? Okay. That's very common. Okay. We just did a video, I think yesterday, right? About a chick that being put on child support, right? Marrying a guy that she didn't respect. And what? 3 years later, after 2 kids, divorcing him. And still disrespecting him. Why do you marry a man that you don't respect? or have kids by a man that you don't respect, okay? And then try to blame that shit on him.
If he didn't come in leading, it's kind of like, how am I just going to automatically start listening to you? It's very.
Why are you with him? If you want a leader, okay. If I want a leader, the last thing I'm gonna do is pick the guy that's sleeping on the ground to lead me, okay. Why would it pick a guy that's given up on life to lead me anywhere? Does that make sense? If somebody's trying to follow me, why am I trying to make them a leader? That's why it's bullshit.
Hard to do that for women, I believe. And I'm not a man, but I'd imagine for a man, it would be.
Hey, that's Dr. Sabi and the sea moss, man. Leave Dr. Sabi alone.
At least what I've seen, like a lack of love. Like the couples that I see together, the man that really adores his wife, it seems like he takes in consideration what she thinks. Or
in other words, the man couples that I see that adores his wife, number one, that takes her consideration means he's kissing her ass. That's what she likes, a compliant male, okay?
Or what she wants, because he actually loves her and wants to be with her. And
that's what she wants. They want, like Dr. Willie P said, on point simp. On point simp. She just out of her own mouth, and not an alpha guy, not a guy that takes control, tells you what to do. That adores her and takes into consideration, listens to her, and takes into consideration what she wants because he wants to be with her. Okay.
Last thing I wrote down was not on the same page as far as morals and values. It's very easy to not hear each other when you're completely different.
Why do you pick each other if that's the case? Okay.
In many different ways. So those are my three reasons. And to your point, which I disagree with, you said it's not communication as far as why couples don't hear each other.
Yeah, it's not the prime. It's usually more often than not the primary.
He's right. It's not. Okay. It's worldview. Worldview is probably the biggest reason. Okay. Trust and believe, man. I know how to communicate. Okay. I know how to get a point directly across. Okay. And the thing is, all my women knew that I got a point across and they couldn't argue with it. So guess what they did? They did what the fuck they want to do anyway. My mother does that shit. Okay. She don't argue with me because she can't. Because she knows exactly what I'm saying. And, exactly what I'm trying to communicate. She don't want to do. My daughter does the same shit. Okay. Know exactly what I'm saying. But they don't want to talk to me is because they want to do what the fuck they want to do. And just saying that is, I don't give a shit. I want to do what I want to do anyway.
Issue is usually a sign. It is an issue, but it's usually a sign of a deeper issue.
I can agree. It's a sign of a deeper issue. But I believe that
now this is a woman calling in what she believes, okay, and to a therapist is doing this shit for the last 10 or 15 years, okay, and has actually had couples, and she's trying to tell him what she thinks, what she believes, okay. Like you're the expert. Because he's a black man. What you believe, what you see is supposed to trump what he thinks, okay?
The number one character trait of a leader is communication. And in a relationship, that is the man's job to do that. To lead.
To do what?
To lead the relationship.
Okay.
So the fact that
who told you that? The man's number one job is to lead, okay? That's what irks. I expect women to say this shit, okay? I expect women to say this shit. They say this shit and they train the man the exact opposite of what because they really don't want that shit. They really don't want a fucking leader. They never did. But when shit goes left, then all of a sudden, well, I expect you to lead. Now, when we first started this in 2015, okay, they're telling us to get behind them and what they wanted, okay? So you don't want a leader. What you want is a guide, okay? A guide will ask you where you want to go and show you where he actually show you or lead you to the path of where you want to go. He's not making a decision for you, okay? He's a guide, okay? If you want men to be guides, just say that and pick the right guide. That means your number one job is to follow. Oh, that's no. You gotta prove that you're worthy of me following you. That's bullshit.
The man is struggling with communication and not being able to guide the
See,
relationship how it needs to go. I would say it is the man's fault. You didn't pick well, or you don't know how to lead.
you didn't pick well. You don't know how to lead. Okay, but the woman is just this complacent little creature on the side. Okay, that chose him. I'm just waiting to be picked. And I don't expect to. They don't want us to lead. Okay. Black females love telling black men to lead. Yeah, they love. Yeah, until you try. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize to me. I know that it takes two to tango. So, and I know, having done, I don't know how many couples I've worked with over the last 10 years, I've almost never come across a relationship that involves communication issues where only the man was primarily the issue. Usually both parties have a role to play.
70% of the problems that come up in a marriage or even a relationship is brought in by the woman. The man don't cause that many fucking problems. In fact, the man try to avoid problems. Okay, women bring in fucking problems. Okay. King Pepper says he'll burn out quickly, taking to these whores. I mean, the women will actually pay him. Okay, the women will pay him. Okay, if he can stay balanced, which is gonna be hard. Okay, black women want men to lead according to what they want. Women want, yeah. I rule with an iron fist. Fuck explaining shit. That's true. Okay. We'll get to that. Okay, we'll get to that. There's a reason that doesn't work. We'll get to that. Patriarchy by feminist specification. Yes, Mr. Z, that's true. Through my career, the main group to question my education experience and expertise has been some American black women. So all other women give accolades. In fact, Boris Kojo said that but early in his career. In fact, if we get time, I'll actually play that particular TikTok, okay? Because Boris Kojo said the exact same thing. No, he's not Derek Jackson. No, he's not. If he can stick to land, and he's probably the closest thing we're going to see to Kevin. We'll see. Okay, that's like everybody else is lining up behind him. It's because he's the closest thing to Kevin that we've seen in a while. Okay, about women listening to him.
Play and how we got there and how it got that bad. I agree with you though about men leading and how when they don't lead. If we stick with the analogy I used, when men are kind of driving that car, I view it through the lens as when he's got the steering wheel and there's all this chaos going on, you have to figure out what to do to make this car ride go a lot more smoothly. Like I agree with that. But the idea that like women are these innocent victims that aren't contributing and also having a role to play and taking accountability. I've never approached talking or conversations like that, just because I know that the most patient man still needs a person who's willing to work.
They're basically no organization that has a leadership structure can actually do anything unless there's people that are willing to follow. A leader without followers is what? Not a leader. It's just a person with an opinion. And they talk over us and insult us during a disagreement where we can't communicate. Women are harder to communicate because they don't want to learn how to communicate with you, even though they're supposed to be emotionally intelligent, which they're not. When a woman, this is something, when a woman says about being emotionally intelligent, and Dr. Els actually said this a couple of podcasts ago. When a woman talks about emotionally intelligent, that means you should understand how she's feeling and what she's saying, right? It doesn't work the other way. You're supposed to be stoic and quiet and actually accept all her BS. It don't flow the other way. Because when it flows the other way, now all of a sudden she gets upset. Last comment. Okay, everyone loves a leader until the leader says something contrary to you. Want to do or believe? Fuck out of here. What you really want is a figure at the blame. Yeah, they want a Jesus figure. That's really what they want.
With them. Right. So, he can do and or say all the right things, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that kind of sounds almost misandrous, as much as it sounds like your view of male leadership is one that you really honor that. Like, you really believe that, like, men are supposed to.
No, you don't. Coming in saying that shit. Okay. No, you don't.
Just simply be the lead, especially in an area like this. Does that sound about right?
For sure.
Cool. Yeah, I respect your views on that. As far as what you said originally from the beginning, when you mentioned that women they just flat out don't respect men. Why do you think that is, especially nowadays?
Because the lack of leadership. I think it really boils down to that.
You haven't been taught to respect men. Lack of leads you where? Lack of leadership. What the fuck does leadership mean? How do you define it? Fine, because we're not balling out of control with mid six-figure jobs like white men are. Really?
That bullet point, the lack of leadership. And a lot of men, at least black men, are raised by their mothers mainly. So that skill hasn't been developed. And a lot of us women, we ought to capitalize on that and just take over and, okay, I'll lead, and they follow. They do follow.
No, that's really what they want. Okay. That's really what they want until shit goes awry. Okay. And then it's still your fault, right? That's really what they want.
Or like, we get into this limbo of being engaged for 12 years, just the crazy stuff that women choose to put up with. Like, it's one or the other.
Yeah, being engaged for 12 years, okay. Now that is a lack of communication. That is them not understanding men. And I know I've done this. Well, hell, I actually came up with that. I did that on Facebook in 2006 or something like that. Okay, because it actually came up, right. The talking about the whatchamacallit, he's talking about the commitment from levels of commitment from a man, right? If you're engaged 12 years, that means you're not a wife. But you can't look yourself in the mirror and say that I'm not his wife and break it off, okay? Because it's comfortable. You're engaged for 12 years, you are a moron, you probably had multiple kids in that time. It's because you're not a wife, okay? She's not a moron, she ain't a wife. Not a wife to him. She might be damaged goods.
Yeah, I agree to an extent that part of the reason for why I think it's gotten so bad, and I think a huge percent, I would even probably say the majority of the blame, I would agree with you, is that male leadership in regards to dealing with women and female behavior definitely is numero uno. Because I blame simps number one, because simps are.
See, I don't like that shit. I blame simps number one, okay?
Simps are the guys who are so appreciative of anything that they can get from women, especially in terms of attention, that they won't challenge prideful, arrogant, negative, and narcissistic behavior or traits that they can see in their female counterparts of the women.
It's because they have been trained to, okay? I said, I have sadly concluded that the Black American community will be absorbed. Yes, the world is going through a major change, and these simps, black women, still are on the same shit. They have been trained to, okay? MS Delta, I don't know what field you work in, but you work in corporate, right? You know that if you don't change the culture, okay, don't change the structure, okay, same problems will keep popping up over and over and over again, right? When corporate wants to change something, they have to change the whole structure. They go down to where the problem is and change the structure. Otherwise, the same problem will actually keep recurring. That's like when you see a corporate structure get blown up all the time. Shit ain't working. What do? They don't go in and they blame somebody. They blow up the whole structure and start again. Bring in new people with new ideas and trying to find something that will work. Okay, Black community is the only people that don't do that shit. Okay. Okay. The thing is, what's the definition of insanity, right? Okay. Doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting different results. Man, I was actually listening. I'm listening to a book. I forget her name, right? From the mid 1940s, right? Okay, and it's something because we're actually going through this, and that's stuck with me. Okay, now she left her husband, moved to New York City, moved to the Bronx, New York City. I think it's the Bronx. It might be Harlem. moved to Harlem, right? Got an apartment with her and her son, right? Okay, and she's a struggling single mother, right? Okay, uh, um, his clothes are worn. His socks are worn. She has to sew his socks when he get holes in them. Okay, he's a growing boy, and he keeps growing out of his clothes, but she can't do anything about it because she can't afford it, right? And her son, I think, is like 8 or like 9 or 10. Okay, he's at that age, and so he gets tired of being poor, right? And his the older boys on the streets that are dressed better is because they're actually shining shoes to make extra money, right? So he's getting tired of being poor and dressing and not eating properly and all kinds of stuff. We see his buddies doing better is because they're actually out there working, right? His mom is always complaining about money. How much money matters. We can't spend this, can't spend that, can't go to the movies, can't buy this, can't buy this clothes just because we can't afford it, right? So it's fuck it. I'm gonna go out and work like my buddies are, so I can dress like them, eat like them, and take pressure off my mother, right? So he's out there with his shoebox, shining shoes. She catches him, right? And it's because she's worked for white people and she sees black people in a certain way. She projects that out on him, right? So she doesn't talk to him. She slaps him. She slaps him a couple times. She drags him in the house. She embarrasses him. She talks to him bad. She damn near curses him out about shining shoes and working. He said, "Mama, said we ain't got no money. I'm tired of being poor. You always complain about money, and this is, and my partner, my boys are out there dressing better because they're out there working, okay? And you're gone most of the time. My extra time could be used actually earning money on the side, right? Okay. What's their first go-to? Is actually abusing that boy, slapping that boy, and cowing that boy down to being obedient to her. This shit's not new. They've been doing that since emancipation. This shit's not new. Anyhow, continuing. So blaming the simps for being simps when you actually train them to be simps. Okay? It's like blaming that kid that can't read on the kid instead of the teacher in the school system that didn't teach that kid to read. And the parents were actually supposed to intercede and make sure they could read. But he's at fault. He's at fault for being the kind of guy that you train him to be, to accept anything. Loudmouth women, violent women, disrespectful women, fat women, ugly women, drug addicted women, tattoos, all the kind. We're trained to accept that. Okay, we just went over that about being the garbage man of the dating world. Okay, and accepting everything that comes across because that's how we trained. And when the black manosphere tries to come in and put in standards, guess what happens? We're attacked. Now I might clip it and play it, okay? I'll play it because that really got to me, man. Because it reminds me when I was a kid, okay? And 95% of the spankings I got were from my mother, okay? And me and my sister just going over details. Like my grandson, which is her great grandson, has no clue about what his grandma was really like. Okay, so the kind of mother I got is not the same as the great grandmother that he has. Okay, not even close. It was a deep. I might play that for you guys. Okay. Do you think we are living in a generation where black culture is being blown up and replaced with a failed corporate? No, we're actually being absorbed. It's called admixture, okay? It's normal, okay? The Native Americans, we didn't go through what the Native Americans actually went through. They're actually forced. They actually took the kids and put them in Indian schools, right? They actually took the kids away from the mothers in the village, okay? They didn't do that with us because they needed us on that actually for labor on their sharecropping farm. That's how come they didn't do it to us. But the thing is, once that was over, now they're trying to do what? Absorb us. Okay, that's the whole thing. That's what Moynihan was talking about, right? If you want to actually admix these people in, you got to retrain them to actually fit in to the family of Americas, right? Because they don't fit in with the culture that you raise them with. And Ms. Delta, BGS, you preaching tonight. Man, I'm you know, I'm just man, this jet dude not even close to anything Kevin Samuels. He used too much. He's afraid. Well, seeing he's just starting out. Kevin was not like this when Kevin first came into the manosphere. He wasn't. Okay, Kevin developed into this. Okay, so I experienced my grandma the same. She was a beast in her day, according to my mom. I got the meek old lady that cooked and gave money. Yep, yep, yep. Anyhow, let me continue. Let's go ahead and get this done because I actually want to get to some more stuff. Okay.
that are in their lives.
Mhm.
So the issue is that, and we could point to it in a variety of areas, whether it's sexual related sites, just how women objectify themselves, how they act in terms of their behavior, attitude. It almost doesn't matter what women today do. There's going to be
It's always been that way for our women, right? Black men have never been able to check black women ever. We didn't check them. Their mamas checked them. And when their mamas stopped checking them, guess what? They ran amok. We never checked them. Their mamas checked them.
a man that signs up and say, I'll tolerate it.
Mhm.
I'll deal with it, right? So she can be the most disrespectful. She could have a lengthy track record of men in her past where she is disrespectful. She's cheated. She's scratched cars, burned clothes. She could have done anything. There's always going to be this guy that signs up for it. The secondary issue I've noted and seen is that many women that claim to want a man that's mature, that's emotionally intelligent, that can understand them and lead emotionally with the stuff that you're talking about. A lot of ladies don't want that man in their teens and their 20s.
Or their 30s, 40s, and 50s, okay? Another place where I agree with him, okay? Don't disagree with him. I'm cussing anyway. I dated these bitches, right? Okay? These bitches that they had drug dealers in their lives when they were young, right? They dated the bad boys, right? That shit never goes the fuck away. They always lust after that, right? I played this chick with 5 kids, got her good dude, a square, right? Okay? And she's saying that she's having thug withdrawals, okay? That shit never goes away. Shit never goes away. How do you know? Because look at the music they listen to, the shows they look at. If they weren't raised properly, that shit never goes away. That lust for bad boys and irresponsible men, that shit don't go away. The thing is, okay, it's like being a heroin addict or alcoholics, right? So we should start a club called Thug Anonymous, right? Okay, I'm not dating any more thug dudes, even though I'm a thug addict. Okay, so that's bullshit. Okay.
Mm. Oh, for sure.
Now, my question is, whose fault is that?
I could say it's our fault. It could be
Mhm.
our mother's fault, maybe, possibly,
Your grandma's fault. Who else?
Mhm.
maybe, possibly.
Yeah. So if you're spending a decade or a decade plus not picking those types of men, and then not waiting around just being single the whole time either.
Mhm.
You're dating, you're having sex, you're getting in relationships with all the men that are not like that.
Mhm.
And usually those men that are not like that have very clear signs very early. And when you're choosing optionality and choices and freedom of choice in these areas, and you consistently picking wrong from 18 to 28 or 30, an adult would honor and acknowledge it's also my fault too. And it doesn't matter what the man is or what he is or isn't doing, because I'm the one as a woman in 2025 that's still picking the man.
Right.
Right. So that's where I come from, where it's like that's actual accountability from both sides. But if I have a couple in the room, ideally, depending on what agreement they want, some couples don't want an approach that's more traditional in nature, where he's the head or he's the leader. They may want a more egalitarian approach, and that's their right, that's their choice, that's their lives. There's pros and cons to any of these setups that we do, but I do agree with you.
That's why I'm not married, folks. Okay, I'm a Sigma. That's why I'm not married.
And I do put it on the men, because as I get to our points 2, 3, and 4, and I will even specify which parts men need to pay attention to the most, we're rewarding often the very thing that we're complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big piece. And I think men and women are doing it, but if one side is the leader, then I'm going to obviously put it on men a little bit more with that. But I agree.
And one side of the fucking, when did men actually lead this community? Actually lead, okay? You look at the church, okay? You think the pastor runs the fucking church, even though he stands up there as the pastor? Really? You think the pro-black sector actually run the men like Dr. Anderson actually run it? Really? Let him step out of line. Let Dr. Umar step out of line. What happened to him? Anyway, continuing.
Both sides, we have a much better job to do. We cannot get in this car together and both think we're going to be the driver, and we're fighting over the steering wheel, fighting over the who gonna press the gas, and whether you're gonna get out the car like when I'm driving 60 miles per hour. Like, it's just total chaos when stuff gets started. So thank you for your pushback, your feedback. Yeah, you definitely welcome to come back, because I'm sure when I have some more interesting topics, you may want to actually debate me. So I'm open to it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming on.
All right.
We may do one day. We may do I very seldom do stuff with Jeff. Okay, is because I want to give him a chance to actually flesh his stuff out without too much criticism. Okay, but this one got to me, man. About especially with the simps shit, man. Without saying where the fuck do the simps come from? How did they learn to be simps? Okay, single motherhood, man. This ain't new. Being simps ain't new. Okay, who's gonna check me, boo? Okay, especially woo. A leader has the ability to reward and inflict punishment. Guess who has that power in the black community, right? Charles's father was not a fucking simp. Okay, Charles's father wasn't no simp. Okay, Charles Faulkner Sr. was not a fucking simp. Okay, did he have a compliant wife? No. Okay, Charles will tell you that. Charles will tell you that. Charles sees this shit every day. Every fucking day. These women, you have PhDs getting men out of prison. Why is that? Because they're looking for a leader? Are you kidding me? Anyhow, I want to play something real quick, okay? Because I actually want to show something, okay? This is Compassion and Callous, cutting the nameless protagonist, okay? And there's something that he said that actually goes with this, okay? Blue Leash, we point this stuff out all the time, okay? And shout out to the psychologists, right? The people in the mental fields, is because they're supposed to be motivational, okay? That's their job. I respect that, okay? But some things get on my fucking nerves, because when you come down in this lane trying to spread false narratives, okay? Like simps just came out of nowhere. And you're supposed to all of a sudden simps are just supposed to recognize they're simps one day and stop. Just recognize, well, okay, this is not working, blah blah blah, and stop, instead of trying to fucking correct the goddamn problem. Oh, you just have to recognize that the behavior that you're picking the women that whose behavior is negative to you. The thing is, why the fuck do you think he's picking them? I got up and left the black church after the pork chop said that the men in the church don't deserve women in the church because the men wasn't putting enough money in the collection plate. Yeah, well, business emissary train. Yeah, basically the black men are Jemadar. Okay, it took me over 10 years to stop simping and had to entirely understand why I was doing it. And it was too deep. It's hard to break your training, okay? Like the Jemadar says, okay? It was never my life, Captain, to give, okay? It never has been since the day I was fucking born, okay? It's the order of things. Anyway, let's get into this so I'm not here too long before I really get wound up and pissed off. Okay. This is nameless protagonist, man, talking about the black community. Okay. So Detroit Lions are finally winning after 75 years because the players have bought into a new culture. I saw the same thing with Isaiah's Pistons. Yep. The thing is, I'm getting tired. Okay. I'm getting tired of people intelligent, well-educated people that read overlooking the obvious. Okay. Oh, ignore the elephant in the room. Okay. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Anyway, let's compassionate. Using your clip, compassionate. But this one got to me. This one actually identified it. Okay. Because I actually want to play it and show you where this shit comes from. Okay.
One, the state is the alpha male within America and in general, and especially the so-called black community.
That's how come they're talking about SNAP cars and Section 8 stuff like that, and women are crying, okay, and their DEI jobs, they're crying because their baby daddy, Uncle Sam, is cutting them off, okay? The alpha male is cutting them off, and they're getting pissed.
Number two, the beta males are black women, and they're operating in that capacity. Number three, that means amongst those men that call themselves black, all you have are sigmas and omegas. That's it. And our issue is the fact
the sigmas are independent and try to exist outside the system, and the omegas are what we call the simps, the very ones Jeff was talking about. Okay,
that black men can be conscripted to operate as pseudo alphas and pseudo betas. It all depends on who is giving the order to mobilize. Number five, the overwhelming majority of our problems during Reconstruction happened because of the Daughters of the Confederacy doctrine that sabotaged us. The response was the blue vein culture that was involved in the education system that wanted to push back against the A&M degree and wanted to, and you know about this, hot sauce, they wanted to get the same prestige that was experienced from the Ivy League circles. So when W.E.B. Du Bois pushed this idea of the talented 10th, that not only was a respectability politics, it was a beginning of attempting to integrate, which was not what the likes of Booker T, Martin Delaney, and Marcus Garvey wanted. He wanted us to get the hell up out of there because that was the original agreement, because they all understood this place would eat us alive. And that's precisely what was done to us, along with the Frankfurt School's agenda that came from the small hat.
But the thing is, guess what? Guess what happened when you didn't comply? You see what they're doing in Gaza? You didn't comply, didn't integrate. If you didn't integrate, what happened to all your towns, all the towns that you built up in separate black communities? What happened? They burnt them down. Why do you think they burnt them down? They're not supposed to exist. So the shit that Booker T wanted or tried to do, which white men actually paid for them to do, because they actually want to stay separate. Okay, they didn't want you to have power. They actually wanted you to stay separate. When you got too powerful, guess what they did? They burnt your city down. It's called balance. Okay, it was all since 1890. It was always projected that you would be absorbed. Okay, it's always been projected like that. You were never supposed to be a separate community. It's not the way it works.
That's with a capital Z, both before and after World War II, who used us as political leverage tools to push their agenda. And it was realized at the conclusion of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, when Howard Smith inducted the 7th Amendment at the 11th hour to add sex when it was only supposed to be race and color.
Howard Smith didn't do it, but the thing is, we always blame Howard Smith. Okay, he did it because he actually wanted to kill the bill. Who pushed that through was Pauli Murray and Eleanor Roosevelt behind the scenes, but nobody blames them. Nobody blames them.
Title IX, yeah.
Title VII, but Title IX happened as a result of that later. It gave them the foundation to hijack all of our progress. because the issue we had wasn't with Jim Crow as a concept. The concept of Jim Crow was separate but equal. Our problem was we weren't getting the equal piece. Number one.
Because you never were. Jim Crow, the concept of Jim Crow and the KKK and all that stuff is, if you go back, that's why I say follow the fucking money, right? Okay. And, I put this shit out there for a reason. Follow the fucking money, okay? The slave South generated 75% of the GDP of the United States, okay? If black people, especially black men, are generating 75% of your GDP and your resources, okay, and they're freed, okay, if you want to stay a prosperous country, guess what you got to do? Got to put them back where they were. Jim Crow was never supposed to be separate but equal, okay? That's just the tagline that they gave you. Jim Crow was to keep you as a pseudo slave, to separate the classes, okay? That's what it's there for. There's no such thing as a state within a state, okay? No such thing. What do you think the Palestinians are fighting for right now? I think they're fighting for right now. Africans try to establish their own central bank. You sent NATO there. Well, yeah, that's outside the scope of what we're talking about today. Okay, we're not talking about geopolitics. Okay. I hope you did more work about what was going on. Okay, because I was right, because my group was right in the middle of that shit. Okay, for non-black women reaching a certain age, make them pick better men. For black women, only after 3 kids will they go for better men. After 3 kids, they go for better. Black women pursue the wrong men into old age. It's because that's what they have been taught. Okay, those are the men that their mothers want. Those are the men. I'm going through this shit right now with my daughter. Same shit. Okay, stop complaining about the motherfucker if that's the motherfucker that you want. If that's your preference, yeah, like I said, it's all trade-offs, right? You're going to get some things that you want, some things that you don't want. If what you want is what you're getting, stop fucking complaining about it. My daughter's almost 40. That shit don't change, okay? Try and tell them what they should do. We have to stop trying to tell them what they should do and start admitting the truth, okay? This is actually what I want to show you. See if I can find my image file. See, where's my desktop? Okay, stream 2. Okay. This whole shit about alpha and beta. Let's see if I can get a bigger file from that, because that's too small. Okay, there it is. Oh, that's better. Okay. Everybody thinks that alpha and beta and all that kind of crap comes from evolutionary psychology and the wolves and all kind of crap. No, it does not. It comes from Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, right? In an organized society, okay? A perfect organized society, right? Okay. The alphas are the leaders, right? Supposedly the world leaders, the specialized people, which is really what they want. So basically the state is the alpha, right? Okay. The betas, as we call them, are second in command. That's like when we said the black women are the betas. They're second in command in the black community, right? The alpha is not the black man, okay? The alpha is, or the leader is the white man, always has been, okay? And the black women are the betas, the second in command, right? Okay. The reason he calls us omegas is because notice the omega's color is what? Look at the color, okay? Omegas are black. Omegas are black men, okay? Omegas are there, or epsilons are there to be what? To be servants. They can't read or write, or extremely obedient and destined to perform menial labor, right? How come they never wanted to teach black men to read or write? Okay, but guess who they did teach to read and write? The betas, right? Which is the black women. That's like black women are always more educated, right? That's why they point to that. Okay, black men are not that educated. They're there to do what? Physical labor, provide them with sperm and sex, right? And follow them, right? He leads, she follows and passes down proclamations to us, right? We're looking at Bakari Sellers and what's his name, right? In the Naderland podcast, right? They're head down like what? They weren't alphas, okay? They weren't even betas, okay? Okay, they were listening to them, two black women bark at them, and they put their heads down, which is very common, okay? And these people are actually high-level politicians. One ran for governor, one was a congressman, right? And these two chicks that are only so-called what is it? Talking heads are talking at them like they're the ones in charge, and they're not. Okay. And then the sigmas that he's talking about are basically us, right? We can't be part of the system because we don't fit in the system. Okay. Sigmas, which we'll call it John the Savage, is actually the sigma in that book. Okay, I might pick up that movie and actually this Saturday actually do a movie review on Brave New World. Okay, John the Savage is actually a sigma. He's outside of the framework. Okay. Okay, he can be an alpha, he can be a beta, he can even be an epsilon, depending on where he wants to fit in, right? But the thing is, normally, that's like when he says that sigmas can actually be slotted in pseudo alphas in certain situations, okay? Because they're on the same level as an alpha, but the thing is, they're outside the system. They're not recognized as a leader. This is also what black women killed my brother's keeper. Yeah. Pimps are sigmas. That's why they do like pimps, okay? Which is why they're kind of attracted to bad boys. Bad boys are actually omegas that actually pretend like they're alphas, but actually follow the same code that the black woman want. They're to actually please the black woman. That's why the alpha beta binary is a gross oversimplification. Beta was never meant to being weak. No, second in command. I'm actually showing you where the concept came from. The Brave New World was actually written in the 1930s. Okay, in a perfect created society. Okay. And John the Savage was outside of the system, of this organized system, right? So Taco Tax, blessing. This is a master class, okay? DC, I'm reading the book now. Yeah. Well, you know what happened at the end? John the Savage tried to integrate himself into the system, right? And guess what? They would not leave him the fuck alone. Basically, he actually killed himself at the end. He couldn't take it. He could not be bound up like that. Okay. John the Savage actually became a MGTOW. He separated himself. Okay. That's how come you have all these kids crashing out and becoming sigmas. Okay. They crashed out. That's why they sell dope at their mother's. Yeah, they do. I wasn't gonna say that, man. I wasn't gonna say that. That's like when they go to prison, man. They come out brokers because they leave the money with the women, and she spent her money and went and got another dope dealer. He's disposable to her. And see, the next one I actually want to show you, image file, is this one. Okay. I was just going through stuff, and basically, this is why the state itself actually wants you to fit into a certain pattern, right? Okay. Okay. The reason that they this is female sexual choice, okay? And this is uh, a male investment, okay? Money, time, or effort, right? Okay. Alphas want polygamy, right? They want as low of an investment as they can get, okay? Male investment. Alphas want that, right? Because they're alphas, they can actually do that, right? Okay. It's what they want, right? This is much truth, too much truth. Don't let the media man see this, okay? He'll disagree with it, okay? Okay. Um, Alphas want polygamy, okay? So polygamy means choice, multiple women with low investment, right? Okay. Same thing with non-monogamous long-term relationship and POA harem, right? Same thing with the what he calls is the free agent lifestyle, right? Low investment. The highest investment are actually the betas, right? Or marriages is actually the highest investment that a man can actually involve himself as far as sex is concerned, right? A wife costs way more than a hookup. Okay. That's why down here hookups are low male investment. And also uh 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 the lower choice on females, okay, what females actually want as far as sexual investment, right? Okay. So alpha, low male investment for hooking up, okay, or non-monogamous long-term relationship. Hooking up is also on the alpha's list about what they want. Okay, well, look how low the investment gets. We're way down here. Okay, as far as male investment, and the betas or omegas. Okay, as we pronounce them, right? Okay, which is why they don't like passport bros. Okay, hooking up, uh, Craigslist, which is prostitution. Okay, and tricking. Right? They don't like beta males or what they call omega males to trick is because it's it's a very cheap investment for sex. Okay, as far as sex is concerned, right? Extremely cheap and getting cheaper by the day. And what they want is, if you think about it, to have a family, that's 80 to 90% of your labor and your time and money. Okay, that's a very high investment for one woman. Okay, which is what women really want. That's why marriage is very important to them. Okay, unless they got Uncle Sam backing them up. And the lower amount of investment, that's why I said it's much cheaper to pay for. CGA said the same thing. It's much cheaper to actually trick than actually have a relationship. Much cheaper. Okay. Stay-at-home wife is the highest form of pimping. No, it's not. Okay. You being pimped, not her. No, it's not. The thing is, this is an old chart. What I'm saying is, you have all these other kind of arrangements. Okay. Hell, they've done bringing this stuff to IG and dating sites. Okay, so this kind of stuff is being promoted on dating sites. Most of the chicks actually now it's almost pay for play, which I said let it happen. Okay, let the market have it. If they want transactional, let the market forces take over. Okay, so in other words, your state wants this. That's how come they want this, the highest male investment, right? Because it actually helps the state and women and society, right? That's the way it's supposed to be. That's why they push you toward it. That's why they constantly are pushing males to actually come in and invest into that kind of relationship. Baby moms, all kind of stuff, right? When it goes bad, they fuck with the alphas or even the some of the omegas and get caught up with kids. Now they're looking for this, right? An extreme amount of male investment, right? Okay. But things what the manufacturer said is okay. If you want to do that's fine. Get more. Sex is not enough because that's the highest form of investment that you're actually going to make. Okay, the lowest is actually that's come they don't like tricking and prostitution. That's the lowest form of investment from a male that you can actually get. Okay, why are you spending several thousands of dollars a month for a wife to have sex once or twice a week? Why are you doing that when you can spend 80 for the same shit. So what you can spend what $300 a month instead of $3,000. And we're not even talking about just the money. We're talking about the time and investment and most labor you have to put into her. And got to put shit when you're down here. And got to put shit into her. You give her $20, $30, $40, and she moves on. That's why they want you to invest in this. Why you think the two things when women first got to voting in 1920, first thing they did was close the bars, which is get rid of alcohol. Second thing they did was actually get rid of the bordellos, okay? The houses of prostitution. Is because that's where the money was going. They wanted all the money for themselves, okay? Because their husbands were actually going out to bars and drinking and then going spending money on hookers and bringing what's left home. They didn't want that. Ignace Miles said, when is the Brave New World movie review coming? We're not reading the book, and it's needed. I think there was a miniseries featuring Ron O'Neal from Superfly. Yeah, there was. So I'm spitting like Nas on this one. Great content. Okay. Odingo, question. Would legalized prostitution increase marriage rate? No. That's why they don't do it. See, I have to thumb this one up. Okay. I should get a thumbs up from you every single time as long as I've been with you, bruh. Bruh. Anyhow. They do despise work. There's a reason they despise working girls, okay? I mean, this chart tells you why they despise passport bros and them going to trick. It's not a moral reason, right? Because the women here trick, okay? But they want this in at minimum this, okay? Hook up with long-term relationship potential, okay? That's what they want. They want you to buy into this. These two, they actually want you to buy into, okay? They don't want this. Appreciate you, Afro Merchant. All right. There's one more chart I actually want to show you, but I'll show you this first, and then I will play a little bit from Dr. L's, okay? Okay. If you guys can see this, I think you can. It's big enough, okay? Okay. These are the four major cities, right? Okay, in the color-coded, right? This is desirability rank, okay? We obviously know that white men are actually the most desirable, even above their females, okay? White men and Asian women are actually the most desired in dating sites, okay? So amongst women, okay, it's white, Latin, and Asian. Guess who's at the bottom? Okay? Black women. Okay, same thing, right? Okay, and men, okay, white men are at the top. Okay, guess who's second? Not Latin, it's not Asian, it's black men. Okay, in desirability, right? So when they say that black men are the least wanted, it's bullshit. That's bullshit. The least wanted people that they project is them. Even when you go overseas, okay? Thanks for the super sticker, Jeff. It's bullshit, okay? But they project that shit on you guys, and y'all eat that shit up and believe them. Even though the evidence shows you the exact opposite. Y'all still eat that shit up and believe their asses, okay? They're lying through their fucking teeth, and you guys believe them, okay? When all the data comes back, shows you the exact opposite, but facts don't matter, right? Okay? When they spout out this shit about them being the most educated, earning the most money, blah, 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 blah. Y'all eat this shit up and you look down on men like y'all ain't doing enough. Fuck all that. Okay. You know, we didn't make this world, okay? This world was handed to black men as it is, okay? Deal with it. If you don't want no man, don't want no man, okay? If you want that white man, God, the white man is the most desirable, right? If you can get him, I say go get him. Black women promote transaction during dating the most, yet are the least desired in this area. If black women were smart, they would make a cultural shift to normal dating. Okay. The thing is, they expected massa. Okay. The white society actually forced black men back into the box that they've been in. Right. They're still trying to do that shit. Okay, white men and black men are trying to force black men back into that box. White men do not want to compete with black men. Okay, they never have. They never have. Okay, so saying that black men are the least desirable and nobody wants you because your mom had been telling you that shit since you were 3 years old, that nobody wants you except them. Ain't nobody gonna want you no good ass except you. That's what I tell you. You ain't shit. You ain't no good. You ain't been shit. You abandon your kids. You're not educated. All that negative shit is push you back down, back into that hole where they can actually control you. Okay. I hate. Oh, if black men just chose better, fuck all that. They should choose better. Just not them. If black men actually chose better and had standards, they wouldn't choose black women at all. Because 90% of these chicks are like that. And if you're trying to heal the black community, you don't correct her, then black men will, and should go someplace else. If black women do not correct themselves, you won't have a black community. Okay, the only thing that's keeping black community intact is black men poor mating choices and their poor standards. If it wasn't for that, they've been gone yesterday. They'd have bounced yesterday. If they had standards, black men don't have standards. They actually basically rely on you not having standards. I'm 80 pounds overweight, but I'm a 10. Bullshit. Okay. I got fake baby hair in my baddie starter kit. You're supposed to want me. Bullshit. Where your standards at? And no white man would choose a white woman with a baddie starter kit. He wouldn't choose her. If she had glued on hair, huge eyelashes, and clown makeup, he would not choose her. But black men choose her because we train to actually accept them the way they is, even though we don't want that shit. And they go all over the world trying to badmouth us back into accepting them, okay? Black women pay for what they want. White men still can't get them in mass. Oh, white men. Yeah, they still can't because white men don't want them, okay? Sabitol and Young says we got to do a special show now November 1st when welfare is gone. Yeah, that's well, welfare is basically gone now. It's because of the shutdown. Checks aren't going out. They're already crying. Yeah, let them go back to being Massa's bed wench if Massa will accept them. Yeah, they don't. Well, the thing is, basically, they're the opposite of what you want. Okay, they're the exact opposite of what you want. That's what I'm saying. It's because of the simps. I said, where do you think the simps fucking came from, man? That's why I was pissed off. Okay, you know, it's not just at Jeff. Okay, it's not just at him. The thing is, and I'm tired of hearing this shit, man. I don't know who you hang around with, but the people I hang around with, well, man, fuck all that. Look at the stats. Stop giving me who you hang around with. I don't know who the fuck you hang around with. I hate that. Well, in my circle, give a fuck about your circle, man. Deal with the facts, okay? Not to be anecdotal, but if black women are telling us no one wants black men, it forgot the way my penis in my 20s would sample more flavors than Baskin and Robbins. Okay, There's plenty. There's white men that are MGTOW. There's white men that are incels that are willing to actually take them up. Okay, they were actually available. They don't want them. If they want them, they could have those incel white men that want women could actually have all the black women they could actually muster. They don't want them. They don't want them. Let me play a little bit of Dr. L's. I think I want to play it towards the end. Okay. Dr. L's podcast is toward the end, and we're gonna get out of here, man. Before I go on a fucking jihad, man, because this shit is really irritating the fuck out of me. Okay, with this shit. Okay, and when I saw Bakari Sellers and what's his name, high level politicians, man, listen to these chicks rant about black men. Okay, well, Queen. All soft and shit. Fuck all that shit. Told that bitch to shut the fuck up, okay? Because you're not helping. Yeah, not facts. Not even incels want them. That's true. Incels are mad at black men for white women choosing us. Not mad at the white woman. They're mad at the black woman for choosing us. At the black man for being chosen. Okay. Let me play toward the end. Because I actually don't want to go through the whole thing because it's about an hour, about 30 minutes. Okay, I don't want to play the whole thing. Just some of the things that she said, and on her TikTok, and the shit that she was spitting, which is completely wrong. Okay. And it's called structure, okay? Because they don't want you to have it, okay? They're competing against you because you're supposed to be beneath them, okay? Here you go. Black women, but you're the most educated, right? It's not that black women are expensive, all women are. It's that they're not worth the expense. It's a matter of cost, but of value. They've made themselves worthless. Yeah, they did. Marriage is expensive. And the chart actually showed you about betas and alphas, all that kind of stuff were actually drawn up by a white guy. Okay, it wasn't a black guy that actually drew that up. So it's not inherent toward just the black community. Oh, I'm sorry. No video. I'm sorry. Share screen. Thank you for telling me because I'm ranting. Okay, I'm in the middle of a fucking rant, and I shouldn't be.
Beat this up.
And then you'll have like the Asian women, the white women and the Asian women. So Asian men are actually leading with more degrees collectively. So, okay, so there was a misinterpretation that Black American women are the most educated group in the USA.
Okay.
It wasn't no misinterpretation. It was a fucking lie. You knew better. It wasn't no misinterpretation. You're lying. Okay, still lying about this stuff. Same thing with Tiffany Cross that knows better, right? Still spouting the same fucking lie. Okay, they're lying. They're lying. Okay.
The truth of the matter is that Black American women are badass, and they are very highly educated.
Are badass, and they're not highly educated. Okay, if that was the case, it'd be 80% instead of 30%. Okay.
But the research is showing that they more so hold more degrees collectively in terms of AA, BA, master's, and doctoral degrees collectively in comparison to Black American men.
It's always Jermaine's fault. They compare. If you can't compare yourself to anybody else except who? Jermaine. You got to be better than Jermaine, right?
So do other races of men, except for I believe that's correct about the Asians. I believe that's correct. Let's see here. All right, let me pause this here for a second here and to go back.
Oh, why would anybody choose a Black woman for a sugar baby? Because the pussy's good. Okay.
Over to this educationdata.org and take a look at these numbers again here. So this is graduation attainment by sex and by age and sex. I don't know why they made these almost a similar color, but the female is the lighter blue there. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know why they did that. Why would you do that, right? So the females are ranking by graduate degrees 18.7, 19.8, you know, by different age groups. It's not until you get to the 65 plus that the men are outpacing them, and that's probably, and again, that would show you too at one time that men were outpacing women, but as the generations got younger, then the more women are outpacing them. So that absolutely exemplifies that. Here's doctorate degrees, professional degrees by demographic. Women are on the rise, certainly, but when you take in professional degrees, which are, you know, pharmacists, doctorates, Juris Doctorate, medical doctors, dentists, and all that, right? Still men who are outpacing them. Now, listen, there's no doubt that we as Black folks got to do better. There's no doubt about that. I'm not disputing that. I'm asking, how does this translate and transfer into marriage rates, marriage success, where we can get together and stop looking down on one another? We got to figure. That's what we got to figure out. We got to figure that out. How we get to this place where we're not looking down on one another. All right. So let's go back to Dr. Chiako here. Oh, Lord.
The only way it's going to happen, I always say, you got to leave her once, right? Black men have to leave collectively at least once, okay? Otherwise, they will never get the message.
Not globally, but in comparison. And they still are leading, you know, in a lot of brackets. Everyone knows that. So those are the updated stats, okay? So who would be the best fit for a Black American woman? Economic.
Here we go.
And here she goes into economically. She's about to say economically.
Economically, educationally, politically, spiritually.
Why are you connecting all these different things? You got educational attainment. Why does that connect to political beliefs? Why does that connect to spiritual beliefs? Why does that connect to economics? Right? Why does it connect to that? Right? So I'm not going to play too much more of this because I've gone on and on and on with this, and it's quite frankly, it's annoying at this point. Right? Here's some bachelor's degree or higher. Right? 24%. Right? This is the total Black folks who are getting degrees. This comes from BlackDemographics.com. What is this one here? Black education attainment by sex. You can pause that. Take a look at that. Did that one already. Let's see. What is this one? Education where Black men stand. You can pause this. Take a look at that. Right? This continued fight that we have. I think that might be the same thing there. Might be the same thing. Let's see. I think this one is about medium income and all that, showing that Black men still on average make more. Let's see, that's that one. What is this one here? Education and up. This is Black men, all women. That one's Black women, all women. What is this one here? That was one I was going to do about gangs. What is this one? Black women and fertility, still having babies out of wedlock, all this kind of crazy stuff, right? Black men and their fertility, etc. All right, so I'm going to actually leave it off there because listen, I am so done with this conversation here, and this lady here who, you want to have another conversation, Dr. Chiako? I'm going to send this to you because you sent me something. I wasn't going to reach out. You decided to reach out to me. What do we do about this? And your answer is to go on here. And I'm not going to play it, but you guys know whoever watching on TikTok. Her answer is to go over there and date white.
Yeah, date white men. Go. God, please go. I think Black men should actually start a Black woman, white male dating site. Okay, encourage them to go. Stop making us miserable. Go be happy. Shit.
Right, man. As if culturally, politically, religiously, as far as everything that has to do with the culture, your food, the way, the movies you like to watch, everything else is going to connect as if you're going to be able to make it that way. And it's just incredible.
Stop trying to save these old Dr. Els. Stop trying to save them. Okay. Let them go. They want a white man. Tell them to go get the goddamn white man and shut the fuck up.
Well, to me, that this woman continues to gnaw at this bone. And, I don't know who left her and who dogged her.
Who cares?
What Pookie.
She don't have to have none of that, right? They have been trained to want white men since they got here in the 1700s. Okay, they've been trained that way. Hell, they do that shit in Africa. If you want a white man, you can get him. God bless you. Go get him. Leave us alone.
She ran across and she just doesn't seem to know anyone, and maybe her fathers and all that came over here from another country and just assimilated or got the educations. They look around and just see all these particularly quote unquote dusty black men, but you're hanging around the wrong circles and with the wrong people. You're hanging with the wrong people.
The African women can't come over and marry white men like that. Okay, the high achieving black women coming from the continent can't come over here and marry white men like that. They marry black American men. They do. Same shit.
Wrong crowd in the wrong situations, and this is what you are dealing with, and this is who you're looking at, and you think that all of us are like that, and you just bothered by it. Now, is there a lot that black men need to do? Is there something that black men need to step up in different categories? Yeah, but all the numbers that you listed, and even I showed it too, that concerning the numbers here of women outpacing their men as far as educationally, they're not talking like this. They're not talking like this. They no other group is talking like this, and that's what bothers me.
You're facing a fucking tsunami, economically, educationally, politically, okay, societal wise, globally, right? Okay, it's getting ready to come our way, hit our shores, right? And we still talking this bullshit. Fuck them. If they want a white man, God bless them. Go find him. Stop trying to fix it. I know you're trying to fix it because that's your mission. Fuck all that. Let her go. Do you want a white man? God, they know what white men are. Go get them. Stop talking that bullshit. Kristen Kirsten found out, even though she promotes swirling and dating white men, okay, she's at retreats, right? 90% date and marry black men of her followers. 90%. And that's in the swirl community. That's why she gave up. Because y'all bitches ain't serious. You just want to talk shit about black men. Y'all ain't going nowhere, okay? You know why? You know why? You know why, right?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
Because even with passport sis, you actually see them showing off their Japanese boyfriend or their Thai boyfriend or their Latino boyfriend in pictures and videos, talk about how well he treats her and all that kind of crap. No. Now you show off you getting banged in Jamaica. No, you can't even go down to the freaking DR and pull that shit off. Why? Can't go to the continent and pull that shit off. How many videos you actually see of passport sis in Ghana, in Kenya, in Tanzania, in South Africa, dating Africans abroad, or dating Latinos abroad, or down in Brazil with a Brazilian boyfriend? You don't see it. Hell, you only see them going to Europe talking about taking pictures and video of their white boyfriends. Why is that? All you hear is them going over, following black men around and seeing what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to a black club and I'm mad because the black men are actually dancing with the local women. And y'all down there tricking. Y'all down there with these dirty foot chicks. Y'all down there with these dirty foot Asians. Okay, it's because they're in poverty and you guys are getting tricked out of your money. All over the globe, they follow you to actually to put a bad name, bad mouth your name overseas. Okay. And you have a whole bunch of these simps over here helping them out. You don't say nothing about them white boys or them Latinos or Asian men going over doing the same goddamn thing. Ain't got nothing to say. But all of a sudden, we're supposed to be the most righteous people on the planet. Get the fuck out of here. And Nigerian men go trick all over the planet. Nobody says shit. Anyway, finish this off. We got a few more minutes, and then
we got to stop this conversation. So, as I end this off, let me end this off with, date who you want, love who you want, go where you want. But we got to stop this gender war. We got to stop this gender war in between us. We are living in a day and a time when, we got no kings protests going on. The things that the White House is doing are just crazy. And we need each other more and more. And we just seem to be driven further and further apart. This is an attempt by me as a reconciliation, extending of the olive branch. It's
not going to work, okay? Because they're not going to change, okay? And, there is no olive branch reconciliation without women changing, okay? It's not going to happen. Men are not going to. Black men don't accept that shit, okay? If they're not going to change, we're not going back. Like Kamala Harris said, we ain't going back. We ain't going back in that dungeon. We ain't going back in that hole. Hell no. Now we have options that the whole world open up to us. Hell no. Either they change or we leave. That's what I'm saying.
We will. In order to say to ourselves, we got to do better. We got to think better. We got to act better. We got to do better collectively. I can't do it without you, and you can't do it without me. And the sooner we get that through our skulls, the sooner we understand.
Yes, we can. Black men can do anything they fucking want to. Okay, they've been limited and tied down in this system. Okay, you're actually omegas inside this system, right? Epsilons, right? The bottom barrel in this fucking system. Okay, got to get out of this system one way or the other, right? You can't not go back to the same shit that held you down. Okay, it's not going to work. If they're not going to change, guess what? We ain't coming back. You can just see they don't want to change. I played you two women that do not want to fucking change. Okay, they don't. Why would you go back? Why would you go back to 200 years of servitude? If that's what I ain't got no problem. If y'all want to do that shit, okay. If y'all want to do that shit, I ain't got no fucking problem with it. Do what makes you happy. If you want to serve Keisha for another 200 years, go ahead. Want to kiss her ass for another 200 years, go ahead. I ain't got no problem with that. If that's what you want to do, but don't come over here complaining about her ass, okay? I want to hear it. I told my daughter about that and her man, okay? You're with him for you're 38 years old, okay? You're fucking 38 years old, 37 years old, okay? 37, 30, yeah, 37 years old, okay? You should know what kind of man you like, okay? And what the compromises and trade-offs are, okay? Don't complain. If you're not going to leave him, don't complain about him. At this stage, again, you're not 19, 18, 19, 20. You're too fucking old for that. You know what you signing up for. If that's good with you, by all means, okay? Take the trade-off. Tell men that all the time. Still, people still preaching black women should have come together. They are. We ain't never separated. We're talking about come together. We ain't never separated. We ain't never separated. That's why the war is going on. We ain't separated. We are together. The thing is, what together to actually do what? Uplift your queen and your god. Kiss her ass so she can feel better about herself. We didn't make you feel bad about yourself. You did that on your own. And no amount of praising by black men are actually going to uplift black women, make them feel better about themselves. It's not going to happen, okay? Stop trying. War only ends when one side suffers a drastic loss. No, not necessarily. War ends when one side decides to give in to the other side, or the war is too expensive to fight. I hate that shit about, the thing is, I hate that term coming to, thing I don't mind is coming to the table. The thing is, it's gotten so overused, okay? Table is just negotiation. All groups have to come to the table and agree if they're going to live in harmony with each other, okay? All people. And the table is just a metaphor. Oh, the table's fucked up. Table's fucked up because you ain't got nothing on it. And you can, a lot of people can accept a fucked up deal, which we have for 200 years. We accepted a fucked up deal because we had to. New day. I got a full tank of fuel to fight. I'm leaving soon. My thing, we're here, and Roller said the same thing, right? It's not in the manosphere, the red pill, is not to tell you what the fuck to do, okay? It's tell you, okay, this is these are your options. This is the truth. Do what you want. Do what thou wilt, okay? Do what you want. Do what you will. Do what you want, okay? These are realities on the ground. Make your choice, okay? If you want to be a simp, you want to be a not even a simp, you want to be an omega uh, in this system, go ahead. If that's you actually want to die on down that hill, okay? I did that shit for my children, okay? I played that part for my kids because that's what I wanted to do. So I'm not telling you that you can't do it. The thing is, I knew what the fuck I was doing when I did it, okay? I knew what the fuck I was doing, and I did it the way I wanted to do it, okay? Even though it cost me. It cost me damn near 30 years, okay? It cost me. But I'm not saying that you can or cannot choose. My thing is stop lying, stop fucking lying to us, okay? About what's what. So men can actually make an informed decision, okay? So when guys come up here and talk about their woman and stuff like that, okay, I always ask, why you choose her in the first place, okay? Why you marry her? And now what are you gonna do? Why are you still with her? Because it's a choice, okay? Why do you make that choice? So I give guys information that should not make the same choice that I did, okay? Because I wish I was looking at my rank as far as height, IQ, amongst other things, right? Okay, man, I should have been charging. I should have been charging, okay? If I look at my scores, I should have been charging. I wish Red Pill had been around when I was 20 or 25, okay? I wish it had been around, okay? You would have had a whole different nigga up in here, okay? A whole different nigga up in here, okay? So I'm trying to tell you young guys are still young enough to actually actuate this stuff, okay? Stop giving up your fucking leverage, man. Make an informed decision. If you actually want to grace her with your presence and actually assist her, go ahead. Know what the fuck you're doing. Know what you're giving up. And know what choices you're not making that could make you happier. Or do you want to be happy or you want to serve? I don't care which one you do. But I'm getting tired of this bullshit trying to blame you for shit you didn't do. Sick of this, man. Y'all know exactly why the fuck this whole black community is fucked up. We've been studying shit for the last 100 years, okay? 200 years, right? All kind of books and studies and facts and figures. You know exactly why the black community is fucked up, okay? And y'all can run around pretending like, oh, well, I don't know, man. It's just individual choice. Bullshit. Stop saying that shit. You know exactly why it's not, okay? Educated people. If it was regular guys in the barbershop, I can understand, right? You motherfuckers are PhDs that read studies, okay? I'm a layman. I can find this shit. If I can find it, you can find it. And I've been putting this stuff out here for 10 fucking years, okay? I don't want to hear that shit. If you can prove me wrong about what I'm saying, my facts don't meet your facts, okay, I will back up and say, well, I have to accept your perspective. Don't give me that shit without no fucking facts. When the facts are the exact opposite. Dr. L just came up with all the opposite facts, okay? All the shit that she was saying, right? But you still actually want us to actually charge that hill. Really? Really? With them? Okay. The bear don't even want to go in there. You want us to go in the cage with them? Really? You said VHS, look out. Well, this is VHS right now. This is not the BGS show. This is the VHS show, right? This is an evil twin. I'm getting so sick of this shit, man. Well, all the men that I'm around in my circle and who I hang out with, bitch, you ain't hanging out with these motherfuckers. Stop lying. Stop lying. Okay, you got to go through the same daily grind that I got to go through. Okay, you're just gonna walk around the bubble, get in my Uber or in my car, and drive past to my corporate building and never see peasants. Bullshit. You saw them on the college campus that you went to. How that shit went down. Okay, stop it. Anyhow, man, it's 2 hours in, man. I done ranted enough, man, and I've cussed enough. So hopefully this doesn't, nothing happens to it because I cussed enough. And normally I don't cuss this much, okay? But I'm getting sick of this, okay? I really am getting sick of this. And shout out to Dr. Else for actually trying, man. I understand your heart's in the right place, man, but this shit ain't gonna work, man. This is gonna implode. It's already imploded, okay? The bomb has already gone off. We just haven't seen the fallout yet. The shockwave ain't hit us yet. The bomb's already gone off. And the thing is, you don't be in the blast radius when it hits. So you need to get in your car, get on your plane, and get away from that mushroom cloud. Okay. Anyhow, I mean, I got more charts. Okay. If they want to challenge it, okay. If we want to go charts and facts and studies like that, anybody, okay, anybody, okay. Books, clips, charts, studies, all that kind of shit. I mean, I will actually go chart for chart, study for study, right along with you. Okay. If you think I'm lying, you disagree, and you got evidence to actually back this shit up, please, okay? Please, okay? I'll do it on this channel. Please. Instead of, well, not my circle, I don't hear that my circle shit, okay? It's too much evidence, okay? That's why I said the password bros were actually good. They're showing you that black women are actually full of shit. That's the problem, okay? They're full of shit. They know they're full of shit. And from the professors all the way down, they're full of shit. They know the truth, but they hide that shit. Well, they're too dumb to know. No, we fucking found out, okay? We fucked around and we found out, okay? And y'all ain't it. And then instead of coming to the table and actually correcting the problem, you're doubling down on bullshit, okay? It's done. Your arms are too sharp to box with God. Exactly. Exactly. Anyhow, Dr. Reefer, what's going on? Get some J-Lo. If he's just not capable of fun, get some stiff drink after this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? I use that term, okay? To see their eyes pop open when I use that term. I'm not going to say which one it is, but anyhow, okay. Let me get at. Oh, Dr. Marifa, what about Museveni's death? Okay. What are the implications, especially with the rise of the BRICS and Traore, and what's going to happen to Uganda? Anyway, let me get out of here. I will see you guys later. Apologize for all the cussing, okay? VHS got loose, okay? And like Popeye says, that's all I can stand, and I can't stand no more. Okay? One of those days, all right? So, like Jesse Jackson said, charge it to my head and not to my heart, all right? All right, good people. And well, France is broke. Of course they're going to be on fire. Salute, salute BGS VHS. Shout out to Charles for actually giving me the evil twin the moniker of VHS. Funny, I still bust up when he tells me the story. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here. We're gonna leave on guess what? Dear Mama, right? Okay. I should be there hopefully next year. Okay. You are cursed, sir. LOA moonshine for you. Hilarious. Hilarious. Okay. All right, good people. I will see you guys. And for all those people that want to challenge what I'm saying.
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Where is it? I just saw it. Okay. Come on.